Let's talk about something you've probably felt but didn't want to see. When the universe wants to separate you from someone, it does so in ways so obvious it hurts to admit it.
And if it hurts, it's because you're still fighting against something already decided. The worst part is that the signs were there all along. You ignored them, justified them, clung to the idea that everything would change. But after so much wear and tear, you begin to wonder, what if none of this is a coincidence? Your body knows before you do. It feels it and expresses it. But your mind, always so arrogant, tries to rationalize everything. Let me ask you, how many times have you felt anxious around that person for no apparent reason? How many times have you noticed that instead of calm, that relationship brings you tension? Isn't it strange that your breathing changes when you're near them? That insomnia appears? That your stomach tightens or aches as if something inside you is screaming that this isn't right? And yet you haven't listened? Nobody wants to admit that what they most desire is precisely what's destroying them. Do you want to know what really happens when the universe doesn't want you to be with someone? First, it starts with small signals, a bad feeling you ignore, words that don't add up, well-meaning friends warning you but labeled by you as envious or dramatic. In that moment, the universe is already tipping the scales. Then come the roadblocks, plans that never materialize, conversations that feel forced, misunderstandings that spring up out of nowhere. You get the sense that every attempt to get closer requires a superhuman effort, as if something invisible is pushing you apart. And worst of all, your energy drains. You notice that this person no longer uplifts you. They exhaust you. You don't feel like yourself anymore. Your sparkle dims. Your laughter grows scarce. Your motivation vanishes. If you recognize yourself here, let me tell you a brutal truth. It's not love. It's resistance. You've clung to a story that isn't for you, mistaking intensity for destiny, believing that the harder a relationship is, the more it's worth. But love isn't a war. It's not about surviving amid ruins. It's about flowing. And if the universe is doing everything it can to pull you away, why are you still fighting to stay? Here comes the hardest part. The universe doesn't just warn you, it forces you. If you miss the subtle signs, brutal lessons follow. An accident, a betrayal, an emotional collapse so great you feel you can't go on. Why? Because when you cling to what isn't for you, life will break you until you understand. It's not punishment, it's redirection. And yes, it hurts. Hurts to accept that the person wasn't right. Hurts to let go of what could have been. But tell me, what hurts more? Facing the truth now or ignoring it until the damage is irreversible? Do you really feel peace with that person? If the answer isn't an absolute yes, you already have your answer, and the choice is yours. Will you listen to the universe now, or wait for it to act for you? And believe me, when it intervenes, it's never gentle. First, it whispers a slight unease, a strange feeling in your chest you can't explain but can't ignore. Then it pushes you. Pointless arguments, glaring signs, ever larger obstacles that keep you from moving forward. If you still don't heed them, the universe will have no choice but to rip you away at the roots. Have you ever seen someone cling with all their might to a story already broken? It's tragic. They hold on until nothing is left, until love rots, until the wear is so brutal they no longer recognize themselves in the mirror. And worst of all, you could be in that situation. The universe doesn't want you somewhere you lose your essence, in a relationship where you doubt yourself, walk in fear, where your intuition screams that something's wrong. Yet you press on because you think fighting is the right thing, but it's not. Some battles were never meant to be fought. Next, the universe changes strategy. It takes away everything tying you to that relationship. People, moments, even opportunities, making it increasingly impossible to sustain the unsustainable. And if you keep resisting, you'll lose yourself entirely. Then the blow lands hardest. You become someone you don't recognize. You lose your peace, your energy, your light, and still you stay because the fear of letting go is greater than facing reality. But tell me, is that really love? True love doesn't make you feel like you're walking on broken glass, doesn't leave you in constant anxiety, doesn't force you every day to convince yourself it's worth it. When something is meant for you, it flows. When it's not, the universe puts up every barrier until you understand. Yet the most brutal truth is that humans are stubborn. We cling. We convince ourselves we know better, that we can change the other person, that if we try hard enough, things will improve. We lie to ourselves, deceive ourselves, and in the process, we destroy ourselves. So the universe steps up its game. It starts stripping away everything that binds you to that relationship. And if you still resist, it will make you lose yourself. That blow is the hardest. It transforms you into someone you don't like. And still you stay because the fear of letting go is bigger than the reality you're living. But really, is that love? Love doesn't drain you. It gives you energy. It doesn't make you question your worth. It affirms it. If the universe has given you enough proof that this isn't the place for you, what are you waiting for? The more you cling to what isn't yours, the farther you get from what truly belongs to you. You've been trapped in a story that was never yours. Meanwhile, the person with whom you could really build something is waiting for you on another path. But you won't see them until you let go, until you allow yourself to listen, until you stop insisting on a love that's already dead. The universe doesn't want to see you suffer. If you choose to ignore it, you'll learn the hardest way possible. Not because the universe is cruel, but because sometimes it's the only way we learn. So here's the only question that matters. Will you keep ignoring the signs, or will you do something about it? The universe always gives you options, but never forces you to take them. You can stay stuck in an endless cycle of exhaustion, fighting something destined to break, or you can dare to let go. Letting go isn't easy. It never is. When you finally decide to walk away from what isn't for you, silence comes. And in that silence, you face the hardest truth. You've been wasting time on something that would never work. And that hurts. Hurts to admit you were wrong, to accept that all your effort, love, and opportunities weren't enough. But you know what hurts more? Staying in a place where you know you're not happy, because the time you lose holding on to what isn't yours never comes back. Here's the fascinating part. When you finally let go, when you surrender to the inevitable and stop forcing, it's almost magical. Your life falls back into place. Don't get me wrong, the pain doesn't disappear instantly, and you won't wake up the next day with an empty chest. But each day it hurts less. It becomes easier. Until one day you realize you no longer think about that person, that you've recovered what you thought was lost, your peace. And in that moment, the most unexpected thing happens. Life presents you with something new, a person, an opportunity, a completely different path than the one you clung to. And suddenly it makes more sense than anything you'd known before. Because when you let go of what isn't for you, you make room for what is. Only the brave understand this. Those who dare to let go before life forces them to. And you? What will you do? Will you stay somewhere you don't belong? Or will you take control and open yourself to what's truly meant for you? Let me know in the comments. And if you've read this far, I want you to write this phrase in the comments. I trust the signs of the universe, because in the end, everything you need is already there. You just have to learn to listen. If this message resonated with you, subscribe. This is the kind of truth no one tells you but that you need to know. See you in the next video, and remember, what's meant for you will never need to be forced.